yeah, you know that you have a problem when you have this amount of boxes in your personal chest. Ouch. So you honestly thought that my next episode was gonna be the Shadow Hunter since I showed it on my Luxing video. But no, this is the next big boy right here. Alright, let's get started. Hello and welcome to another JNP video. I'm your host JonNario and today it is another 30k PR video. This time it is the 30k PR Revenant. My Revenant is currently sitting at 31,669. It is almost 4 a.m. in the morning. So 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, you can tell that I'm kind of tired, so my brain's gonna be all over the place. So fun times is gonna be a really fun commentary. Not really. I'm gonna hate life. But yeah, this is my current third highest character out there. I already maxed out all my gems at level 25. I got a full set, well not a full set of Crystal 3s. I do have it, but I do not have it equipped because I do have a maxed out Crystal 2 set. Reason being is because the Crystal 2 set is almost as good, well a little bit better. A maxed out Crystal 2 is better than a Crystal 3 in both power rank and in stats. So yeah, that's why I'm rocking the Crystal 2. Anyways, moving on. Currently I'm rocking the speedrun build because like I said on my Gunslinger video, this character I have it built up as a high coefficient, high damaging character. I do not have any roll on any of my light, well any light roll. So I have really low stats and I have him for speedruns. So this is my tank speedrun. It's already speedrun ready. I've done several speedruns with this character. So yeah, I do have two characters for speedruns, being my Gunslinger and my Revenant. I do not have any clips because I forgot to save any of the clips because I'm an idiot. And yeah, anyways, moving on. 31,669 Revenant, with currently my stats are as follow. At 343,702 physical damage, 253% attack speed, so yeah, it is a little bit higher than the Gunslinger because I do have maxed out Crystal 2s. 47 jumps because I do have a stellar ring with jump. 100.4%, that is like pretty much dead 100%. And 2,085.7 critical damage. I'm currently sitting at 2,945 light, so pretty much the same as the Gunslinger, around the same in terms of light. So you can tell that I do not have any light rolls. And my gems are as follow. I did swap compared to like the 20k PR video. I do have different gems, so like always I'm going with the Empower gems. But in the 20k PR video I did have a 2-star class gem. I open up like 14 or 15 class gem and I got this one. So I have a 2-1 crit damage here. My class gem is also 2-1 crit damage. This one is 2-1 crit damage and my cosmic gem is also 2-1 crit damage. All of my 4 empower gems are 2-1 crit damage in all of the stats. So yeah, my lesser gems are all of them 2-1 physical. So I do have a completely weird roll with this Revenant. I do have all of my empower gems with crit damage roll and all of my lesser gems with physical damage roll. So 2-1 physical and all of my lesser gem, including my 2 cosmic gems. So yeah, those are my gems. And I am rocking, like I said, I'm rocking a Crystal 3 hat. Attacks with critical damage on all pieces of gear. Attacks with critical damage. Crystal 3 hat, maxed out Crystal 2 spear, attacks with critical damage. I do have a Crystal 3 spear but no stars, and from the looks of it it's pretty much the same, but this one has a little bit more physical damage and obviously more attack speed. And my maxed out Crystal 2 face with the same critical damage, attack speed. Same reason I have it, I do have a critical hit Crystal 3 face, but I decided to go with this one because again it does give a little bit more attack speed. I do have the Little Bergie ally. The reason I do have the Little Bergie ally is because I do not need Wrath to Berserker on Shadow Towers. I need to activate my ultimate ability as much as possible so I can pull enemy as much as I can. And yeah, my emblems are Beamer and Marshall. Reason I do not use anything else besides Beamer is because when I'm tanking in speedrun, this is my speedrun build by the way, I will be changing into my grinding build. The speedrun build I do have a Beamer, the reason being is because since I'm pretty much taking all the damage from Daughter of the Moon, I'm drinking Flask just to gain the martial effect. I do spawn a Beamer ally, it does help out a little bit in the damage department. I use a Defiant because I don't want to die while tanking. And I use the Sword of Crazy Lunar Lancer subclass because a little bit more physical damage and a little bit more attack speed, since I'm using pretty much like the speedrun build. I need the most attack speed possible. So yeah, it does help out a lot. So I'm just going to explain a little bit how do I do speedruns. Pretty much I use my Spirit Spears and down my HP all the way down to 0 so I can activate my passive. So if you didn't know the passive ability of the Revenant, I'm just gonna activate it real quick. I generally don't need it. So the passive ability of the Revenant, if you don't know what the passive ability is, I'm just gonna show it right here. It does drink a flask, but the passive ability does increase your physical damage by 50%. So right now, even without any potion, any martial or anything, I have 419%, 419,000 physical damage. That's a lot, considering that if you combine this with the Lunar Lancer subclass and the 250% for martial, I get really high stats. So if I drink a pot from martial, I have over 1 million physical damage. So that is a lot of damage, and that is why I do activate it before like activating Daughter of the Moon, because I get the 50% mystical damage buff. It does last for 75 seconds, so it should be more than enough to kill Daughter of the Moon. And since I'm using that, I'm pretty much attacking with this too, and taking lifesteal every single time, so I will be using my ultimate ability. The ultimate does damage. I will be using the Spirit Spear and basic attack. That's pretty much how you use the Revenant, and keep using Flask over and over again, and you will pretty much, and that's pretty much tanking with the Revenant. I will be changing into my speed build, well, not my speed build, my grinding build in just a second, in 3, 2, 1. And that's it. This is my current building for grinding. The reason I use this grind is because, again, mounted cavalry, I don't have movement speed on any piece of gear, so I will be using mounted cavalry to move around as fast as possible. I changed my ally. I did not tell you about it in the last episode, but I do change my ally. I do use Wrath the Berserker. Reason being is because Wrath the Berserker does help in the healing department, and pretty much it's the best ally out there for grinding dungeons. Chronomatic Emblem and Martial. I'm just going to explain Conjurer's Crucible Vial, because Conjurer's Crucible Vial is literally the best vial. I will say it every single time. It's the best vial if you want to grind for long periods of time. And Martial Emblem is literally the best complement with Conjurer's Crucible Vial, because I can spam pretty much Flask every single dungeon, and I can get the martial effect and kill dungeons in just a couple of seconds. But Chronomatic Emblem. Why do I choose the Chronomatic Emblem? The reason I choose the Chronomatic Emblem is because I do not need Unyielding with this character, even though I might swap it with this or Unyielding. But I do not need Unyielding because Revenant does have an incredible amount of lifesteal, and not to mention the 2 lives that the Revenant has. And this does help out a lot in just activating like my ultimate ability as much as possible, so I can pull enemies since I'm very slow, especially since I'm using Spirit Spears. I should be like extremely slow, like moving towards enemies, especially enemies, ranged enemies. So the ultimate ability does help me out in pulling everything towards me. So that's why I'm using the Chronomatic Emblem instead of the Unyielding, but I do swap between this one and the Unyielding Emblem. And yeah, that's pretty much all my changes. Is pretty much the ally and this 2 right here, the vial and the Chronomatic Emblem, and not to mention the subclass. Anyways, let's keep moving on. The Revenant. What do I think about the Revenant? The Revenant is quickly becoming one of the most popular classes in the game. Reason being is because it is such a stupidly powerful class. I've always said that this character was extremely powerful. is because the reason being is because this character does have incredibly high multipliers on all of his abilities. Like the basic attack does 4 times, the spear does 2.5 and pretty much ticks like twice a second. And not to mention, and you know, the ultimate ability that pulls enemies, the 2 lives, the increased physical damage when you activate your passive, and pretty much this character does have everything. And you can pretty much tell, even with low light, I'm capable of destroying life, and not to mention the life steal. Speaking of life, the life steal on this character is just ridiculous. Seeing that you pretty much cannot die. If you don't get one-shotted, you will not die with this character. Because the lifesteal on this character is just ridiculously good. It's really good. It's really ridiculous. And honestly, it's one of the best things out there. It's probably one of the most overpowered class in the entire game. Period. It's so stupidly powerful. It is really good at any portion of the game. It's really good at everything that it does. It's really overpowered. And especially here in U10, it's probably one of the best class out there. If you're looking for a good starter class that doesn't require a lot of stats and doesn't require a lot of anything, this is probably the best one of the best characters out there. Probably high up there as one of the best like physical damage characters because of the lifesteal that it does grant, the damage that it does, and everything that pretty much everything that this character does is incredibly good. And yeah, that's pretty much how this character works. Like in Uber 10, this character is one of the best characters out there. In Shadow Towers, this character is one of the best characters out there. In normal Uber 9 Adventure Portals, is literally one of the best characters out there. Is it the fastest? No. Is it the strongest? No, it's not the strongest nor the fastest, but it is one of the most complete and easy to use class. It's one of the most forgiving class as well because again you have 2 lives technically and you have a lot of life steal, so you don't have to worry about a lot about your health and maintaining like your flask, you know, having your flask all the time, not dying like crazy. Like you can tell I'm right here rocking without unyielding a 600k HP. And for a character that has like this amount of HP, not being able to one-shot, yeah, it's kind of tough. Can this character one-shot in U10? Yes, this character is one of the few characters that can actually one-shot in Uber 10. Reason being is because this shield bash does in fact does 9.5 times damage. My knight, who's currently like really high in light, his Spirit Squire does 8 times damage and it can one-shot some bosses. Seeing that this has a higher multiplier, 9.5, it pretty much can one-shot every single boss out there if you have a light stat Revenant. If you don't, then you can still use the Revenant without light stats. Just go with like the normal DPS route because this character does have in fact one of the highest DPS out there, and seeing that it does have one of the DPS out there, one of the biggest, it's one of the strongest character in the game, period. So if I'm just gonna say this, if you haven't tried it out like the Revenant, I would suggest you try the Revenant out. The Revenant is incredibly powerful. It is good at any portion of the game. It is good in Shadow Towers. You can solo all Shadow Towers including Ultra Dreadnought with this character. And yeah, you will pretty much be able to do any content with the Revenant. It is currently the preferred tank for speedruns due to the Berserk Battler making the Gunslinger not needing the Candy Barbarian as much. And seeing that this character does in fact have really high multipliers, a really good DPS, And not to mention, it does in fact have a debuff, because the Revenant, when you hit an enemy with your basic attack, it does like a debuff that lasts for 10 seconds, but it pretty much just keeps refreshing. Oh, they got a 7.99. Really? Let me just check that. Oh my goodness, they got a 7.99. GG on Trillium for getting a 7.99 speedrun. A sub 8 second speedrun. Holy god. That's good. That's really good. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So the Revenant is very good. You can use it in any portion of the game. If you die, like you just saw right there, you have a physical damage increase ability. You have pretty much an ally that sometimes takes aggro, a companion, I would say. And you will do like, you technically have more damage. Well, you have more damage, not technically, you literally have more damage. You will do more damage. You can die if you have the if you don't have the passive ability, but it only is a 75-second cooldown. So without you even, if you don't die every minute, so if you don't die every minute, then you will pretty much won't die ever with this character due to the insane lifesteal and not to mention the passive ability, like I said before. And yeah, so that is all I have to say with the Revenant. If you want a good physical damage character, this is probably the best character out there. I am very surprised on how good this character scaled in U10. I always knew that this character was good, because it does remind me a lot of the Knight, but it does have a lot of DPS. But before like the U10 update, this and the Knight were pretty much the same, because both of them one shot as good. But seeing that this character, the U10 prefers like more higher DPS characters, and yeah, so higher DPS characters will do better in U10. And yeah, that is all I have to say for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around as always. If you have a Revenant, let me know which power rank are you. And yeah, this character is amazing. This character is amazingly good. Use it if you haven't already. I'm just gonna complete this dungeon real quick. And if you haven't already, use this character, because like this one, you saw that boss got deleted that was without martial emblem and without light, so you can tell that this character can still do well in U10. So use the Revenant if you haven't already. It is extremely powerful, it is extremely good. You can do pretty much any content with this character, and yeah, you will do well with this character if you choose to main him. Go ahead, main the Revenant if you haven't already, and yeah, that is all I have to say. Leave a like if you want to help the channel grow, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and that is all for today. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep on hunting. See ya.